It has been about 30 minutes since the polls closed in Georgia, where once again a United States Senate race went to a runoff. Neither the Democratic incumbent, Senator Raphael Warnock, or Republican challenger Herschel Walker got the necessary 50% of the vote to win outright the first time around. The resulting runoff prompting record turnout in a contest that's been a contentious battle for that Senate seat. Ivan Rodriguez joins us live now from Atlanta. Ivan, the polls are closed 30 minutes, as we said. How are things looking right now?
Steve, well, the final act of the 2022 midterm election is coming to an end here in Georgia, and both parties have gone all in to try and gain an advantage in the Senate. In the battleground state of Georgia, voters once again have the final say of the election season.
Being out here to see Senator Warnock and having him kind of be part of the voice that we've been wanting for so long here in Atlanta.
When Herschel decided to run for Senate, it was a no-brainer for us.
Neither incumbent Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock nor his Republican challenger, former football great Herschel Walker, were able to bag more than 50% of the votes in November's general election, stoking an extra month-long fight for Warnock's U.S. Senate seat.
I can't.
I can't.
I can't.
I can't.
I can't vote for Herschel Walker.
Warnock thought no one was watching when he evicted poor people from their homes.
The runoff is high stakes for both parties. If Walker wins, the Senate will be evenly split. If Warnock wins, Democrats will have the majority outright and won't have to rely on the vice president to break tie votes.
The stakes couldn't be higher.
I represent the great people of Georgia.
Now, with the finish line in sight and early voting shattering state records last week, the Secretary of State says he's expecting a similar turnout today.
We've actually already had 80,000 people that voted in this runoff that didn't vote in the fall at all. So that's what you're really seeing is people that were kind of sitting back and watching things are getting engaged in this race. So we think both sides are energized.
Georgia election officials say we might not get to know who the winner is on election night, and it could take a couple of days. One of the main reasons, Steve, is because of the high record-breaking early voter turnout. We know that as of December 3rd, 1.8 million people have cast their ballot. 300,000 people a day cast their ballot each day last week.
Ivan, we talked a little bit about just the attention that this race is getting. With attention often comes money. How much money has been spent on this race so far?
It's been tens of millions of dollars. We can tell you that just from data that we've seen that's come out recently, the Democrats have more than doubled spending compared to the GOP. It looks like Democrats have spent about $55 million on TV spots since November 9th, compared to the GOP's around $26 million. And you can really there, just looking at the numbers, get a sense of what it means to both parties.
You get a sense from the people who are voting today, those that you've talked to in lines there in Atlanta and around the state, that they know how much attention is on this race? Are they happy about that, all the attention on Georgia, or would they just assume, let's just go back to where we were before?
Well, from what we've heard anecdotally, it really depends on who you ask. Some people are very nervous about what might be the results of the election. Others say, I'm so ready for this election to be over, even though I'm going to vote. I'm just so sick of the TV ads. You can't turn on the TV without looking at one of the ads, right? We mentioned how many of those we've seen here just now, the amount of money that we've seen. But we're really just in this moment where we've been waiting for the race, waiting for a decision to come out of this race for the last month. And so much emphasis has been put on this race, not only here in Georgia, but also across the country. A lot of eyes are on the state of Georgia tonight. And now that the polls are closed, we're finally going to be able to see some of those numbers come in. And we can maybe get a sense early on from what we might expect. But like we mentioned, Georgia election officials are cautioning that we might not get an answer for a couple of days even.
Yeah, be patient. Ivan Rodriguez with CNN joining us live from Atlanta. Ivan, appreciate your time.
News around Texas now. A little boy's memory on the stand today in the trial of a white former police officer who shot and killed a black woman in her own home. This high-profile story prompted protests against police brutality. And now, as the trial moves into its second day, ABC's M. Nguyen describes what the first witness heard as the officer shot through a back window of that home.
The former Fort Worth police officer accused of shooting and killing a black woman in her own home in 2019, now standing trial.
This is not a self-defense case. This is murder.
As soon as Aaron enters the backyard, he sees a silhouette in the window. Aaron sees that silhouette in the window, and that silhouette has a firearm.
It was early October when Aaron Dean was called to 28-year-old Tatiana Jefferson's house after a neighbor reported to the non-emergency line that her doors were open.
It's not normal for them to have put the doors open this time of night.
Inside, then 8-year-old Zion Carr, who says he was playing video games with his Aunt Tay when she heard a noise and got her gun to investigate.
It pointed up, she just kept it next to her, like on her side.
The defense pushing the now 11-year-old on that key testimony.
When we talked before, you said that she did kind of pull the gun up a little bit. Do you remember that?
Zion saying his aunt had cracked open the door after they had cooked burgers. This body cam footage showing Dean approaching the back of the home, never identifying himself before shooting Jefferson through her window. Zion saw her fall to the ground.
I see my auntie crying, so I thought it had to be something serious.
The defense arguing the officers were treating the situation like a potential robbery in progress. Dean has pleaded not guilty. The other officer who was at the fatal shooting took the stand today. As for the jury, it consists of 8 men and 6 women. None are black. Em Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.
We heard the warnings of a twin-demic, flu and COVID, but what we're seeing right now is a triple-demic, and the kids are getting the worst of it. Not only are they getting a potentially deadly respiratory virus, now word that there is a supply shortage of children's painkillers to treat it. Why it's happening and what to do to treat a sick kid now. From infants at daycare to preschoolers and grade school students, your kids are once again in close quarters with other kids.
Remember also they've had 2+ years where they haven't had that ongoing exposure to this virus and that virus. Their immune systems are not on that same level of constant vigilance.
All that togetherness means kids may need additional virus protection. For starters, the updated COVID boosters. They became available for kids ages 5 to 11 back in mid-October.
So this booster not only continues to protect against the original SARS-CoV-2 virus, the virus that causes COVID-19, but has a specific component that helps protect against Omicron.
Dr. Manhaven says parents should also make sure that everyone in the family is vaccinated against the flu. She says kids can get their COVID booster and flu shot at the same visit. And even if parents have waited until now, it's still not too late.
In many years, we see 2 different peaks of influenza.
Finally, Dr. Madhaven warns that parents of children under the age of 2 need to be aware of the symptoms of the respiratory virus, RSV. It causes cold-like symptoms, but it can lead to inflamed airways and pneumonia in children. As for medication options, the Cleveland Clinic is recommending you try children's rectal suppositories for acetaminophen, which are very helpful, especially if your child is sick to their stomach. And finally, if your child weighs enough for 2 teaspoons of liquid ibuprofen or children's acetaminophen liquid, then they recommend you sub out 1 crushed pill in some juice, but only if they meet the weight requirement. Now, there are no approved vaccines available for RSV, which spreads from touching an infected person. So family members showing signs of a cold, like a runny nose or cough, should avoid all contact with young babies. And one other note, the flu shot may take up to 2 weeks before it protects against the virus. That said, a flu shot now may ease the pain of a springtime surge.
Take a look at live cam right now, and we are definitely in a pattern of kind of overcast, foggy, saturated days.
Yes, we are. And then we get some sunshine into the afternoon, but more gray and dampness than anything, and that's what stands out the most. It's a good kind of pattern and good mornings to check your Christmas tree for a homemade thermometer ornament. Gene Pike of San Antonio, the winner of this hour's homemade thermometer ornament. You can go to KSAT12.com/thermometer. I'm giving them away daily up through about Christmas Eve or a few days before then. Anyway, temperature-wise, it's mild outside, really. It's very spring-like. Right now we're at 75 degrees officially at the airport, By 9 o'clock, 73. Tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., 66. You see that 20% chance of rain? That's really just drizzle and a few sprinkles. We'll talk about how bad the visibility is going to be for tonight and the morning commute and when that fog burns off in just a bit.
Okay, anybody who has buyer's remorse over that Kanye West tattoo they got, well, now there's an option to get rid of it for free. A London-based tattoo removal company, Nama, is now offering a free service, to people who want their ink impressions of the rapper taken off. The announcement made on Instagram a few weeks ago, and since then, 3 people have already started their laser removal process.
You just probably have to get to London, I'm guessing.
I'm assuming so.
At least 10 more have booked consultations. The CEO of Nama says the Ye tattoo removal initiative is receiving interest worldwide. Ye recently lost sponsorship deals with numerous brands for his controversial statements and posts on social media, many of them anti-Semitic.
All right, we're keeping an eye on the sun. It was really nice to see it today. I did a town hall about seasonal depression, and that's one of the issues. We just haven't really seen the sun for weeks now.
Yeah, and it is this time of year where we can get into very gray patterns. For example, back in November, we had 9 days in a row of almost overcast skies. So 9 days in a row of mainly just gray, and with that, a lot of dampness. And now we're in a pattern where we have a lot of morning dampness and the kind of weather where it's tough to wake up and actually get motivated when you look outside and it's drizzly and damp. But the afternoons will feature a little bit of sun. As for real rain chances, take a look at it here. This is unfortunately pretty pathetic. We're talking 10 to 20%, and that's mainly just for some little isolated sprinkle activity here and there. There is the possibility of a cold front making it at some point next week, around Tuesday, so about this time next week, but a lot of uncertainty surrounding that. I mean, that front hasn't even developed yet, and some of the upper level forcing is very uncertain as well. There is actually a weak boundary in North Texas, right along the Red River. To the north of it, you get into Oklahoma, 40s. Same story with Kansas, and then some 30s farther to the north, whereas we are on the warm side of this boundary, so we're mostly 60s and 70s across the state, and that boundary is not going to be pushing southward. We were in a pattern weeks past where we had, cold front after cold front after cold front, but that's just not the case right now. We're going to stay in this southerly breeze, and the wind's not going to be shifting out of the north really anytime soon. 74 now in Helotes, 75 in Converse. Meanwhile, 60s in the hill country because of the clouds holding tight all day. We briefly made it to 70 in parts of the hill country. That was it. Whereas at the airport in town, we had a high temperature of 80. Tomorrow morning, we'll start the day in the mid 60s. That's the case for everybody. No big temperature differences in the morning. And by the afternoon, right near 80 degrees for highs. Bandera about 79, New Braunfels 80, Floresville, Pleasanton 81, and Devine 79. That trend continues, and no big changes really. I mean, give or take a few degrees, and that's about it for the rest of the week, through the weekend, and even into early next week. So spring-like temperatures, considering, look at this, the average high is 66, and we're going to be pushing 80 degrees here. And really tomorrow, 81 is what we're predicting. That's just 2 degrees shy of the record. So we're starting to creep into that record-challenging territory, though I don't anticipate us really getting there. Still, this conveyor belt of moisture that's coming off the Pacific because of the upper level high, the Big Blue H over the Gulf of Mexico, always have clockwise circulation around these highs. And this one's in the upper levels, and so it's taking this mid and upper level moisture from the Pacific, and it's getting funneled into this narrow conveyor belt. See the white clouds and then some precipitation as a result as well, West Texas and North Texas. Not very heavy, not really drought denting either, but still it's something. We're just to the south of that energy, and for us it's this really small scale nuisance moisture that's going to be the case. The air temperature is going to meet the dew point again, and when that happens, the air is saturated, and in this case, it's going to lead to some fog. Visibility gradually reducing tonight and getting worse after midnight, especially in the hill country, maybe 2-3 miles. For the morning commute tomorrow, as usual, it'll fluctuate a lot throughout the morning, but we could easily see areas with less than a mile visibility for a good portion of the morning commute. By 10 a.m., that fog should be gone, and we'll break into a little bit of sunshine for the afternoon. So there's your 12-hour forecast. 65 degrees at 7 a.m., Fog up until about 10 a.m. and then by noon, a little bit of sun, kind of like today, similar pattern. 78 degrees at noon, then we make it to 81 for the high temperature at 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. 78 Stone Oak, 81 Elmendorf, Lake Hills 81, Timberwood Park about 77. Bottom line, well above average for this time of year and sticky and humid. This humidity is going to stick around for the foreseeable future. We need a strong cold front to sweep away the humidity. There's some hope for that by some point early next week, Tuesday, Wednesday timeframe.
Sure this is December?
Doesn't feel like it.
Nope.
In case you missed it, coming up next.
Here's today, in case you missed it.
It is Tuesday. It is December 6th.
The breaking news in the case against San Antonio City Councilman Clayton Perry within the past 10 minutes. The Bexar County District Attorney now confirming that San Antonio police filed an at-large case of DWI against Perry.
The DA says that case, as well as the arrest charge of failure to stop and give information, are now being reviewed by prosecutors. It's up to them to determine if both those cases can be proved beyond a reasonable doubt. It is unclear when that decision will be made.
And some folks downtown got an early morning wake-up call after a fire started at the Robert E. Lee Apartments on West Travis Street near Main and North Flores. Crews say a bed was on fire on the 6th floor. Everyone was evacuated from the building and firefighters got the flames knocked out pretty quick. Right now, it's not clear what sparked the fire or how much repairs will cost.
Jury selection starting today for the trial of a man accused of shooting and killing a police dog. Chucky, a Bexar County Sheriff's Office canine deputy, shot during a multi-county pursuit back in 2019. 42-year-old Matthew Morellis facing charges of aggravated assault against a public servant, possession of a firearm, and evading arrest. That trial is expected to begin tomorrow.
NASA's Orion spacecraft is headed back to Earth after a 2-week trip around our moon. The unmanned Orion capsule carried test dummies and passed within 80 miles of the lunar surface. This time, Orion is part of a series of missions aimed at returning astronauts to the moon for the first time since 1972. It's expected to splash down in the Pacific Ocean off of California this weekend.
All right, take a peek at this map. I know a lot of colors, a lot going on here, but this is our average first freeze. In San Antonio, it's November 30th. Now, we haven't even come close to freezing. We've been to 38 degrees, but we haven't hit freezing. We're obviously past the average right now. Not that far, though, past the average. The Hill Country has already had a first freeze, and that was basically right on track. The latest first freeze on record is March 8th. And that was back in 1932. Well, obviously no freezes anytime soon. Mornings in the 60s and afternoons right near 80 degrees. So over the next 7 days, think spring, not December.
So we've never had a year where it didn't freeze.
No, that was the latest first, yep.
Interesting. Thanks for joining us.
See you on the Night Beat at 10.